Today, I've got 15 of the best air fryer vegetables coming right up. My name is Kathy and I empower people to actually use their air fryer. I'm going to show you ways you can make veggies as a great side dish or how to make them the star of the meal. And a lot of these recipes are in my cookbook. You can snag it at yummyairfryrecipes.com and I will show you what page number you can find them. And of course, you'll also see them listed down in the description box below. Are you ready? Let's go. Up first, cauliflower tacos. Yes, they're good. Yes, they're healthy. And yes, they're cheap. Now, yes, these are already chopped, but we do want it chopped more because it's gonna be going inside of our tacos. So really quite small and just think bite-sized. I tell you what, buying it bagged already just really saves time too. And I was so surprised to see that it really wasn't any cheaper to buy the whole cauliflower head. Now for the marinade, we're gonna do just like a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Then here's my spices. I've got a teaspoon of cumin, teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of black pepper. Just gonna dump that in. Then here's 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic and a tablespoon of honey. I'm just gonna eyeball it and just whisk that all up to combine. Oh wait, I forgot my lime juice. Can't forget the lime juice. By the way, I finally got myself one of these little juice squeezers and I'm just like wondering, why did I wait so long? It's just so much easier. And look, it gets so much juice out of the lime. Now we'll mix that up. It's a little more liquidy and a little bit more of a marinade now. Oh, and it's gonna taste so good. Okay, now I'm gonna add all my veggies. One big bowl and dump that marinade on top and then just stir that all up. You're gonna want to do that in a little bit bigger bowl so you have room to stir. Now I've got my air fryer here. It's the dual blaze, so I'm gonna take this rack out because I don't have to shake this particular air fryer. But if you have a rack or a basket, that works for you too. And spread it out across the bottom of the basket. Now we're gonna just pop it right here in the air fryer. We're gonna bring it to 380 for 7 minutes. And while that's cooking, go ahead and rinse and drain your black beans. First 7 minutes is done. I'm gonna give that a quick stir. And now we're gonna dump those black beans in and stir it up just a little bit more. This is gonna make so much food, wow. And now we're gonna go ahead and bring that back to 380 and do 7 more minutes. And it's done. Oh, check out that. To all the naysayers who say you cannot make healthy food in an air fryer, they are so wrong. Look at, I'm gonna get so much food from this. Granted, let's be real, my little girls, they won't like this, but my boys, I think they'll eat it. Not sure about my husband. I mean, I love my chicken tacos more, but for the price and the ease, I'm giving this one a solid 4 stars. One of the things I absolutely love using my air fryer for is roasting fresh vegetables. Today I've got this assortment of veggies that I'm gonna prep up. Veggies are all ready. And for the dual blaze, I'm actually gonna take the tray right out and roast the veggies right here in the bottom of the pan. That is just one of the advantages of the dual blaze. I'm gonna just use my oil sprayer. I actually have olive oil in it today. I usually use avocado oil, but I'm all out. And I'm gonna salt and pepper. And I'm just gonna stir all of this up just so the oil can coat everything. And spread that out evenly. So we're gonna run this. Now the roast feature is gonna run it so that upper burner is gonna be like medium heat and the lower burner is gonna be higher heat. And I actually wanna just run it for 8 minutes at 400 degrees. By the way, roasted vegetables reheat so nicely in the air fryer. I usually throw them in for like 3 to 5 minutes at 350 degrees. So good. They're also yummy if you top them on scrambled eggs for breakfast. All right, time's up on this. Ooh, it looks so good. And I'm gonna just carefully poke. Obviously the time's always gonna vary. It just depends on how soft you like your veggies. And I do like mine roasted pretty good. So I'm gonna spray a little more oil on it. And I'm just gonna give it, about 2 more minutes. So maybe the default 410 minutes is exactly what I wanted. Okay, now let's take a look. There we go. That's feeling really nice and super cool. I didn't have to stir that one bit. And taste-wise, I just love the veggies. Oh, who loves veggies?
Veggies are good for you, kids.
This quick and easy meal is called sweet potato hash, and it's one my sister invented. You just need sweet potatoes, a can of black beans, an avocado, and some poppy seed dressing. I really like the Brianna's brand. Peel and cube them. Drop them in your air fryer, and then spray them with oil. Mix it around. I personally prefer avocado oil, and I have my sprayer linked at airfryertools.com. Close it up, and we're gonna cook this at 350 for about 12 minutes. And if you don't have the dual blaze kasori that has dual burners, you will want to set a shake reminder to flip that around halfway. While that's cooking, I'm gonna prep up these beans and my avocado, and I'm gonna look around and see if I can find any other veggies. I've got some tomatoes that are feeling a bit neglected, so I'm gonna pull one of those out too. And they are done. These have been rinsed and drained. Just add however many beans you would like. This is gonna really bulk up the meal. No, I'm not really being graceful about it. Just gonna throw all the food and veggies on there. The cool thing about this is everybody can just put on what they like, because not everybody wants avocado. Then lastly, the dressing. Drizzle that on top. And oh my goodness, what a treat this is. So healthy, adaptable, and affordable. And the more I eat this, the more I realize how filling it is too. Up next, eggplant parmesan. I have never in my entire life knowingly eaten eggplant, but a lot of you have told me that it's amazing and wonderful in the air fryer. I'm testing it out. All right, it calls for 1 large eggplant. I have no idea if this is large or not, but it looks good to me. And I think I'm just gonna cut that top part off and get rid of those leaf things. This one says to cut into 1-inch cubes, so that's gonna be just the tip of your thumb. So we're gonna go a little thicker than we did our sweet potato cubes. Do these look good? I have zero idea. Somebody let me know if I picked out a good one or not. And now I'm going to just cube them the other direction. Looks like I'm getting 9 per slice. There, those should be good, right? I did some research on eggplant parmesan, and I decided these eggplant parmesan bites would be super fun for kids to dunk into marinara sauce. Let's see how they turn out. In my research, it said to salt the eggplant to help get rid of some of the excess moisture. So I'm just gonna salt this up here with some yummy sea salt right here. And I'm gonna let that sit and make my seasoning mix. So here's where your version of healthy comes in. You could do almond flour if you want. I just got panko crumbs, and I'm adding in a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm just using the powder kind today. A tablespoon of Italian seasoning, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, a teaspoon of sea salt, and if you want a little spice, you can throw in some red pepper flakes, but I'm not going to, so just give that a nice little mix. And for the egg wash, 2 eggs. I like to throw a little water in because I think it makes it easier to stir. And it says to just add a titch of salt and pepper. So I'm gonna just throw that in a little bit. And then of course, just whisk that right up. Okay, we are gonna prep the basket and just spray it with some oil. I'm using my new oil sprayer here. All right, so let's give this a try. We're gonna drop in some eggplant, coat it all up, then drop it right in the crumb mixture, then just stir these babies up. Now, you can take off the peeling and it'll kind of stick better if you don't have the peel, but there's a ton of nutrition apparently in these peelings, so I'm going for the health benefits today, not the beautiful results necessarily. Then pop them right into your sprayed air fryer basket. I got most of it in my basket here. Just gonna give these a light little spray. Then we'll pop it in the air fryer. And I'm gonna go with 380 for 12 minutes. Hitting my shake reminder. Boom. Okay, I'm so excited to take a peek and see this. Ooh, it looks nice and toasty. Okay, I'm gonna quickly flip these over. Okay, I do not have patience to flip. I kind of feel like they might be done. I'm just gonna shake. They do look like they're toasting quite well on all the sides. So let's just go for a few more minutes and see how it does. And here we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, it totally shrunk up. So that's good to know. And I'm really excited to try these. Okay, I'm 46. I've never had eggplant before. You're 6. And you've never had eggplant before.
And 6 more than a half.
All right, we're gonna taste test.
And you try.
What do you think?
Mm.
That's tasty. If you wanted it more cheesy, you could just throw some cheese on at the end and melt it, but this is really good with just the Parmesan cheese and the panko. It's a winner.
Love it.
Did you know you could make a salad in the air fryer? Yes, you can. And it's on page 157 in my cookbook. Now you're gonna want about 2 cups of chopped zucchini, and you just wanna cut them into like 1/2-inch cute little moons. Now, of course, this shows about 2 cups of zucchini, but you can never really have enough zucchini. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. There we go. I preheated this air fryer. I'm gonna just add a little bit of oil here to the bottom. Throw in my zucchini, spread that out, and then my tomatoes. I love cooked tomatoes. Close that up, then go 400 for 6 minutes. We're gonna hit the shake button. While that's cooking, I'm gonna just quickly make a little dressing. 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, which is about 30 grams. A tablespoon of lemon juice, or 15 grams. Just a 1/2 teaspoon of honey for a little sweetness, which is about 4 grams. 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. That's gonna be about 30 grams of olive oil. And just give that a little whisk. There, we're at the 3-minute mark. Now I'm going to throw some corn on top. And here's the salt and pepper I forgot to add. And we'll give this 3 more minutes. Okay, it's done. It smells fresh and delicious. Now it's just time for a fork test to see if that zucchini is done enough for you. I might just give it 2 more minutes. I'll just stir this around a little bit. I'm gonna go 400 for 2 more minutes. Okay, I'm hearing my tomatoes popping, so I'm gonna just pull it out now. Just drop your veggies in a bowl. And at this point, you can let it chill in your refrigerator, or you can enjoy it nice and hot over a salad. This is still a little bit warm, but that's okay, because I actually like cooked spinach too. Then just drizzle on a little dressing. You could do any dressing that you love. And if you have some feta cheese, you can throw that on. Okay, here's a beautiful salad. That is so glorious.
It's fresh.
It's bursting, lots of flavor. And who knew you could make a salad in an air fryer, right? Right here is the side of veggies that I make the most often. It's pretty much effortless. It's frozen broccoli. And by the way, this instruction that I'm gonna give you will work for different types of veggie blends, just like this one that I absolutely love from Costco. You simply throw it in the air fryer, pop it in, and cook it at 300 for 10 minutes. And boom, you've got the easiest side dish ever. Or you can do corn on the cob. You'll cook that for about 8 to 10 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. Just make sure you kind of rotate that corn in the middle of cooking. Now, zucchini fries are a fun, easy way to be sneaky about vegetables for your family members that won't eat vegetables like zucchini, like my husband. And by the way, this recipe is on page 155 in my cookbook. Start with a 1/2 cup of panko, a 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan, 3/4 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. You could also throw in some salt and pepper. I just forgot to. Grab a 10-ounce zucchini, chop off the ends, chop it in half again, half, until you have about 16 little zucchinis. And cut off the seeds so you don't have soggy fries. And there they go. Spray your basket and drop your zucchini in an egg wash and then in your crumb mixture and stack those in your air fryer. Give it a spray and then layer on the rest of your zucchini fries. Spray those, pop it in, and you're gonna cook this at 400 for 9 to 10 minutes. And there it is. Dip it in some ranch or just enjoy it alone. We also love to make all things potato in the air fryer. For roasted potatoes, simply dice them up, give them a quick little bath in some hot water, pat them dry, add some oil, season them as you want, and then you'll cook them in the air fryer at about 380 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. Buffalo cauliflower bites, yeah, they're a bit spicy and super easy. You'll see them on page 150 in my cookbook. Get a head of cauliflower, cut it up into bite-sized pieces, wash it out, give a few to your child, pat it dry, spray your basket, drop the cauliflower in, give it a little squirt of avocado oil, 7 minutes at 400. Melt a tablespoon of butter, grab your favorite buffalo sauce, add a 1/2 cup to the butter, give it a shake of salt, a shake of pepper, and give it a good little stir. Cauliflower is roasted, dump it in a bowl, stir in the sauce, make sure everything's coated, Drop it back in the air fryer, roast it for 7 more minutes, and give it a shake at that halfway point. And check it out, you've got some cauliflower buffalo bites, baby. Okay, don't be quick to rule this one out. You won't believe how yummy it is. And yes, it's on page 48. For this one, you just need about a pound of meat, some onion, obviously some zucchini, some marinara or spaghetti sauce, and your favorite kind of cheese. But I'm making it even easier. I've got leftover spaghetti sauce, I got my zucchini, and my cheese. Okay, so if you don't have spaghetti sauce leftovers like I do, just cook up your ground beef or turkey and add your favorite spaghetti sauce and season it the way you like to. I usually always add onions and garlic and even garlic powder in my spaghetti sauce. Then give that zucchini a good little wash. Cut it in half lengthwise. And just scoop out those seeds. Place them in your air fryer. I'm gonna pat them dry just a little bit. Sprinkle on some sea salt and lightly mist with oil. If you have larger zucchinis that are growing from your garden, you'll probably have to cut those down and they might take longer to cook. But for this size, I'm gonna go with 380 and at about 10 minutes, and we'll add more time as needed. Let's see how they look. Beautiful. We can just check for doneness. Oh, perfect. Just tap that fork in there and it just goes through nicely. I'm just gonna dab up some of the moisture from the zucchini, then spoon in some spaghetti sauce, and then just sprinkle on some yummy cheese. I'm using mozzarella. You could use Parmesan or whatever else you love. We're gonna pop this back in the air fryer at 380 for just about 2 more minutes. Let's take a peek. Oh, look, it's so beautiful. This is such a great low carb option for dinner. And for the taste test, so good. He loves it.
So good.
He loves it.
It's so good. Bussin'.
Plus, one of my favorite things to pop in the air fryer are these sweet mini peppers and some onion. So after you wash your peppers, you're gonna pat them dry. And I'm just gonna chop up a sweet onion. You can do any kind that you love. And I'm just gonna throw the veggies right inside the air fryer basket. And I'm just gonna break up those onions just a little bit. Then you could either spray on some oil or just pour it in there. You could use a wooden spoon or a silicone spatula to stir it all up. And then I'm gonna throw on a little sea salt here. And we'll pop it right in the air fryer. For this one, I'm gonna punch it up to 380 and we'll start with 10 minutes. And then again, I'll just turn on my shake reminder so I can stir it up at about 5. Note that I have 2 different air fryers. This one's a little bit smaller, but the cook time should be fairly similar. Using that instant read thermometer and checking on things and cooking them to the way you like them means that any of these recipes will work for your air fryer. It doesn't matter what brand it is. All right, had a little shake reminder here. And look how beautiful these are looking and smelling. You'll note I've got a silicone spatula I'm just gonna stir it up with, and then I'm gonna let it finish cooking. And if you have something else you're waiting to finish, or if you need to use your air fryer for something else for the dinner, put these in a bowl, cover with foil, and then if you needed to, you could throw them back in here for like 2 minutes right before everybody starts eating dinner. All right, let's see what the little food monster thinks about these veggies.
Onion? That's actually really good. That's like really good actually. 5 out of 5.
5. Woohoo! 5. What about the pepper?
Oh my goodness. It was like kind of bad at first, but then it got like really good. The end taste is so good. 5.
Can you make a whole roasted squash in your air fryer? Yes, you can. I've got details of butternut squash in my cookbook, and I'm going to show you how you can do acorn squash in your air fryer. So first you want to, for sure, wash your squash, and then you need a nice big daddy knife to cut this thing in half. And, hold please. Okay, I'm going to try this now. This one pokes through a little easier. This will be the hardest part right here, friends. Here we go. Yes. Yay! Okay, we're gonna just scoop out all of those seeds. Super easy to do. And I'm just gonna use my knife to scrape out these little stringy guys here a little bit. Now we're gonna just score the inside. Make some cute little squares. Okay, now I've got 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a half teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just gonna mix this up. And now comes the butter. Now you could make this healthier and probably do like coconut oil. I just had room temperature butter, so yes, it's messy. I'll mush it around a little bit. Then add half the mixture to each of your little squashes here. This one's a little bit smaller, so I think I'll add more to the bigger one. Then I'm just gonna mush all of this around just so it's touching all of the flesh of squash. Do you call it squash or squash? Okay, now I'm gonna place these right here in my air fryer. If you have a smaller one, you'll have to do one at a time, but this is my 5.8 and it fits both of them very nicely. Let's pop this in. The recipe I found called for 375, but mine cooks in 10 increments, so I'm gonna go down and then I can crank it up to 380 if I want to at the end. And it says to cook for 25 minutes, so let's see how it goes. Okay, this beauty is done. Oh, mama. And a quick test with the fork is telling me that, oh my goodness, this is perfect. Do you see that? Maybe I had too much butter. Maybe. We'll just let that soak and cool down. I got taste testers home from school. Yay! Hey, I've got a helper. We're gonna rate these, okay? 5-star the best. So decide. This is cooled down, so it's just like, so good. There was butter and brown sugar and cinnamon. It's almost like a dessert. Ready? That's a nice big bite. That is so good. Are you kidding me? No?
1 star. Only
One. Oh, 5 for me. This is glorious.
I kind of like it, but I want to give it a 1.
That's a winner and so easy. Now this one is an easy dinner that you can make ahead of time. And it's on page 47 of my cookbook. Wash up those peppers and then you'll just cut off the tops, de-seed them, and cut them in half lengthwise. Now of course, traditionally stuffed peppers are cut so that they're standing nice and tall, but since we're making these for the air fryer, we cut them in half lengthwise. That way the tops won't be too close to the burner and they won't burn quickly. All right, my meat has cooked, it is cooled, and I got all the grease out of it using Julia Pacheco's paper towel or a spoon trick. And I'm just gonna throw in about 2 tablespoons of taco meat and stir that up. Now we're gonna add everything to the mixture. There's my 1 cup of cooked rice, and that is just a half cup of regular uncooked rice. It cooks up to be a cup, and my 3 green onions that I chopped earlier, and I've got a half cup of black beans that I rinsed out, and a cup of corn, and a cup of cheese. And now I have a nice whole lot of filling here to fill up my peppers. Filling this up is pretty simple. I'm just gonna use my gloved hand, but one little trick to help it kind of stick together more is to get a little water in there. It just kind of helps it come a little bit more squishy and stuck together. And it's just easier to stuff your peppers with your hand, and it's just messy, so I like to wear the glove. And then I'm gonna put it down on some parchment paper on a cookie sheet. Just fill these up. It's gonna depend on the size of your peppers. If you have large ones, you'll probably have less peppers you can fill. And if they're smaller ones, you might end up with some extra meat mixture. And if that's the case, you really could just enjoy this on some tacos tonight. And boom, there are my stuffed peppers. I actually ended up getting 5 of them filled, so I do have an extra, and that's okay. It'll still get eaten. Pop them in your air fryer. And because there's cheese involved, I did snag my parchment paper. Pop it in the air fryer, and we will go 350 for 10 minutes. Oh, that looks really good. We want to add some cheese, but I'm also going to take a peek and just see how it's heating up. And oh, these are going to be perfect. I'm going to throw a little cheese on here. We'll pop it back in and run it for just about 5 more minutes. Let's take these out, and they are done. And this is why I love parchment paper. And if you got picky eaters that gross out at the thought of peppers, get a tortilla, scoop the filling out right on the top of it, and I'll just eat the pepper. Here's a quick and easy lunch for me. Now, Brussels sprouts are particularly amazing in the air fryer. This delicious recipe is on page 148 in my cookbook, but you've also got to try the one that is on page 147 in my cookbook. It's bacon maple Brussels sprouts, and it's dang good. You know what? I've got a ton of veggies in my cookbook here. A ton of them. In this full color cookbook with the spiral binding, and it's all waiting here for you. But let me give this one to you for free. I washed and kind of cleaned up a pound of these broad Brussels sprouts. Now I'm just gonna cut them in half lengthwise so they look like this. That's kind of a big daddy. Now a lot of these bottoms are kind of nasty. I don't know if it's just because I bought it at Walmart or if that's normal. So I'm just cutting those off. Does mean I'm gonna have a little more of these loosey-goosey pieces, but a lot of you told me that they are super yummy when they're crisped up in the air fryer. So I'm gonna leave those in. Drop these babies right into a bowl. Pour in about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, and I'm throwing in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Then I'm just gonna stir that up to get every little Brussels sprout and leafy thingy nice and coated with the seasoning and the oil. I'll drop these babies in the air fryer. Spread them out a smidgy. My air fryer is hot because I just used it for the squash. We're gonna do 350 for 10 minutes, and I'm going to stir it 1 time in the middle. There's my shake reminder, and these are already smelling fantastic, and they look so beautiful. Let's let them go for another 5. That is almost done. I've got a 1/2 cup of dried cranberries here, and I've got a honey crisp apple, and I'm gonna use my little core tool. Boop. And then I'm gonna just slice this up and then cut it in little cubes. Where I live, a honey crisp apple is a little more expensive, but the flavor is so amazing, it's well worth it. And the recipe does call for a 1/4 cup of chopped pecans. You could do walnuts too. We have nut allergies in the house, so I'm not gonna put those in. Time is up. Wow, Nelly, those are gorgeous. They are pretty tender. Just sprinkle these cranberries over all of that, and the apples, and you would throw in your pecans or your walnuts, and I'm gonna just stir it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna get this going for 5 more minutes right there at 350. Press and hold to make the beef quiet. All right, let's go. Oh, it smells so good. I'm gonna transfer this to a serving platter. Look at that gorgeousness. And the last thing to do is to drizzle on some red wine vinaigrette. You could do homemade or store-bought. It's just a salad dressing. Oh, let's go. All right, Brussels sprouts next.
What does this red stuff on it?
There's a red wine vinaigrette and
Dropped it on the table.
there's some spice in here too.
I like spicy things.
Oh, that's delicious. Ooh, ooh. A little spice, and I cut down the red pepper flakes a little bit.
Wait, there's spice in this?
You're not tasting it, of course. And she's spitting it out. Okay, you can run to the trash. You like it? Are you only eating apples?
I tried Brussels sprout, Mom.
Do you like it?
I've tried Brussels sprouts.
Did you like it though?
Yeah.
Okay. How many stars do you give it out of 5?
5.
5 stars, huh?
I guess so.
I'm gonna go with 3.5. Just because I really like the Brussels sprouts with the bacon and with the maple syrup. That's the other recipe I'll link to you down in the notes below. You know I love sweet potatoes. We're gonna chop them up and roast them in the air fryer. First, peel up your potatoes. You just need about a pound of sweet potatoes for this recipe. Here's a tip for chopping roly-poly vegetables like this. If you just make one side flat, then it gives you a nice even surface to cut from. And we're gonna cut these into 1/2-inch planks, which is about the fingertip width. And then we'll just cube. You can see that right there. Then cut the planks into 1-inch strips, and then again into 1-inch cubes. The key is just to get them about even sized so everything cooks nice and evenly. Just toss the cubes right into the basket. And I'm just gonna spray it with some avocado oil. You can use your favorite. I've got this new sprayer that John, one of my viewers, told me about. And just stir that up. And I'm gonna throw on some Himalayan salt. You can add whatever spices you want. Pop that in the air fryer. We're gonna go at 360 for 10 minutes. And I'm gonna put my little shake reminder on right here. Let's go. Here's that shake reminder. Let's take a look. It's looking good. I'm just gonna stir these up and we'll let them finish up on the cooking. Check it out, starts right up. Here we go. It's done. Oh, beautiful. Let's take a look. Now, this is where you test with a fork. See if they're tender enough. Now, if you want these more roasted, you could spritz on a little more oil and crank it up to 400 for a couple more minutes. But these are looking perfectly tender for me. I cannot wait to try them. All right, taste test number 1. Now, I love, like 10 minutes was perfect. 10 minutes at 360. And if your kids wanted something a little sweeter, you could like throw in a little cinnamon and sugar and then crank it up for like 1 more minute at 400, and your kids would for sure eat these too. I love sweet potatoes. I would give these definitely a 4 out of 5 for healthy side. Now I've got more healthy ways to eat in your air fryer right here. And be sure to grab my cookbook at yummyairfryerrecipes.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.